Let's go through some chart setups on a variety of different stocks. Now, in Income Navigator, we're typically a little bit longer term, 112s, Strangles, long-term 112s, ratio spreads, naked puts, those things. And we're all about that 60, 90, 120, maybe even leaps, something along those lines. In the active trader service, where we're trading more active trading of stocks, we're typically less than 30 days in most of our trades. Or at least we're putting on a 30-day trade, but we're typically going to be out in a couple days to a week or so, more swing trading, things like that. But let's take a look at some of the stock options that we saw. So let's jump in now and take a look, and let me get back off the screen. Okay. All right, let's take a look here and see. Let's just start with the big magnificent 7 here. And now we're going to focus more over here on the daily charts. We're not going to focus quite as much on what's going on the weekly because we're looking at swing trade setup. So nice thing on Apple here, we had a nice pullback last week. Didn't quite come down to the 21 EMA, and then we're off with a bit of a doji pattern today. I don't think there's any kind of a setup here in Apple. I think this is run a little too far. We were overbought. We're dropping out of that. Momentum, MACD is falling, RSI is falling, squeeze is falling. I don't see a setup in Apple at all here, so no trades for me in Apple. Typically, I am trading bearish, or I'm saying I'm trading mostly bullish setups. Oh, we'll do coin, don't worry. I have a tough time trading bearish setups. I don't know if it's just my nature. I just don't like to try to find too many bearish setups. If one is just such a great setup that I can't resist it, I'll jump in. But other than that, I will stay away typically from bearish trades. Maybe it's a karma thing too. I just like to be positive. All right, let's just adjust this all-time high. So here's Microsoft. Where are we on Microsoft? Nice uptrend here. Bullish PSAR, but MACD is tipping over, RSI is tipping over. Squeeze is long in the tooth. Typically, an 8-bar squeeze is the average distance before squeeze starts to roll over. So I think at this point in time, I don't want to, we're at the end of the squeeze. Doesn't mean we can't go higher, but I don't like anything here until we can maybe come down, touch the 21. That could give us a nice bounce off of that. So I'm waiting for a little bit more of a pullback on some of these stocks, at least Apple and Microsoft. All right, if we take a quick look here, I don't know. This is the gap. We'll move this gap over. I don't know if we'll ever fill this gap or not, but there's a gap remaining down here. There's also a gap in here as well. So this gap. Small gap, but a gap nonetheless that has yet to be filled. So we always are cognizant of that. If we're looking at Amazon here, you've broken the 21. You're now trying to hold on for dear life on the 50. You've got a bearish PSAR. You got MACD falling, RSI falling, squeeze momentum falling. I don't like Amazon here at all. I would not be looking to do anything here until we get some sort of maybe a pop back above the 21 or a bullish PSAR signal. We're looking at the weekly in here as well. MACD is falling, RSI is falling, squeeze is falling. So all the momentum is down. We could be potentially putting in a double top here on many of these stocks. So that was Amazon. So let's take a look at Meta here. We'll bring this squeeze over as well. We're just holding on to this 21 and 50. I mean, we're just riding this thing sideways. Did we fill this gap? It's pretty doggone close if this filled it or not. In here, we'll take this off the chart. But you've got a little bit of momentum moving to the upside on both of these. You're breaking above the 21. I like Meta here. I think you could potentially be doing something with Meta to the bullish on the bullish side. So I do like where we are on Meta, breaking above the 21 on Friday. A little bit of an indecision candle today with the rest of the market kind of being flat. Bullish PSAR, everything moving to the upside. Definitely not overbought at all. RSI is rising a bit. I think this is not a bad trade. Considering this zone that we've been in, I gotta add to this thing. So okay, let's add this rectangle here. Bit of a volatility box in here as well. So if we break out of this box, I think this thing definitely moves to the upside. I think, what's the harm in giving it one more day? You could try to be early on it and maybe just put your stops down in here or put a put credit spread on. I think that's possible, but I'd want to break out there. All right, let's take a look at Google here. Google hanging in there pretty nicely. We got this nice pullback here, bounced off of it, but really flat everything. Losing a little bit of its momentum daily and weekly here. Don't love it. Just running out of momentum, in my opinion. We could potentially move higher. It's not the worst thing in the world. There is a definite trend line here that looks pretty nice. Bounced off it, bounced off it. Let's see. Are we getting a little bit of a doji on Friday and then the follow through to the upside today? So Google's not bad. And you could look at this as maybe a little bit of a rising or ascending triangle here. So it's not a bad setup to potentially go long. There might be better setups out there, but there's Google. NVIDIA, it's just stupid. There's nothing to do in NVIDIA. If you're not in it already, this makes 0 sense to get in now, in my opinion. So I'm really looking at nothing going on here. All-time highs. We can keep moving them up today. Just another new all-time high, up another 5% today. This thing is just crazy to the upside. If you're in it, congratulations. We'll see where it goes, but overall, there's just no trade in NVIDIA for me. Tesla in a bearish trend overall, but it's trying to hold on to the 21 EMA. MACD's falling, RSI is falling, squeeze, or in a squeeze, potentially getting some reversal today. I don't think this is the worst trade that I've ever seen. I think it's trying to reverse here. You've got a bit of a volatility, range here that you're in. If we could break this range one way to the up or the down, I think you'd have something here. From a short-term play, I just don't see it. We could be bouncing off this 21 and move higher, but we're down again today on Tesla. I don't think it's a good high probability setup. But what I do think is a high probability setup is off of this low, we've had a nice recovery. MACD is rising, squeeze is rising. And even though you had this and we've pulled back a bit, and even though we're below the 21 and everything's a bit bearish here, I don't think this is a bad leap type of a play. So if you're long-term, I think bullish is the play. What if the market is bearish? Will be difficult for bullish trade. Well, yeah, you'll be trading against the trend. However, the market's not bearish. The market's bullish right now. So I think anything bullish is potentially a good trade. I'm just not finding any setups that haven't already really launched themselves. Netflix. Oh, speaking of coin, we just got filled on a coin trade. So inactive trader. So if you're an active trader listening to this, We just took another winner on our coin trade. It just closed while we were on this. So that's what that noise was. So we are now undefeated in active trader. We have not had a losing trade at all in that service. All right, let's take a look at, we do have a trade on Adobe in that service. We have a put credit spread here. Why? Because I think this thing was near these lows. Okay. And you were seeing some rising of the squeeze. RSI was rising, MACD was rising. Then after that, it kind of just petered out a little bit here. We couldn't break this trend line. We couldn't hold the 21. We're still in this trade. It's off of its lows on the session today. We are up on the trade. So in active trader, we are up. We're down still slightly on Adobe. So we are down on the trade, but only fractionally. And this is a put credit spread, and we're sitting way down here on Adobe at 455. So way down here is the put credit spread that we sold. All right, so there's where we are on Adobe. AMD, I like what AMD has been doing here. I think this is a decent looking trade. The weekly, nice RSI and MACD moving higher, breaking above the 21. So the weekly looks good. Then when you get into the daily, get into a little bit more of the macro view. Okay. Nice uptrend, nice stair step, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And now you're bouncing off of it. Made a bit of a move today. Friday, I think, was the day to get in. Not saying that you can't get in today. Don't love this candle on the session today, but squeeze is, firing to the upside, RSI rising. So overall, this looks pretty good in here for a breakout on AMD. So AMD, not a bad looking trade set up here for AMD. I think a put credit spread or a butterfly, either one could be good. And I think Qualcomm is already gone. So there's nothing I can do on Qualcomm. This thing just launched itself into outer space. If you're not in Qualcomm, it's too late for you, I think. At least a high probability setup wouldn't be here, but really liked Qualcomm. And we take a quick look at, all right, we're top of the hour here. We gotta wrap up. All right, so just double checking our time frame here. SMCI also is not a bad setup. So this was in a downtrending channel, which it broke out of. So it broke the downtrend here. So we can get rid of a lot of these lines. A lot of these things don't matter. Now you've got a definite uptrend going here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Bouncing off and breaking the 21 EMA with MACD's kind of sideways to rising, RSI rising here the last couple sessions, squeeze rising, and even on the weekly, bouncing off the 21 and moving higher. We're in a bearish PSAR signal, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think SMCI is not a bad looking trade in here either. All right, coin was a question from the peanut gallery here. Let's take a look at coin. We just closed a trade on coin. So that was, again, another winning trade in the active trader service. In fact, let's take a quick look. As far as active trader goes, again, we've now had 14 straight winning trades. We have not lost a trade in the active trader service. So 14 straight winners this year. And coin just closed, but is it still set up for another potential trade? Maybe. Let's see, what did we close this at? So we closed it. We had a put credit spread closed today on this. But overall, coin looks pretty nice in here. MACD is rising, RSI is rising, squeeze is rising. Your squeeze is now in a tight squeeze, potentially getting ready to fire here. I like coin. I think I would be getting long coin. I think there's more trades to be put on coin. We did it back here when we were finding this support, so we put it below support. But I think you can get back into coin here again. So we might look to put on a new trade in coin. I think that one looks pretty good in here. So Igor has a trade on in coin as well. And he rolled up the long leg of a call butterfly. So he's already booking some profits, but I like coin. I really like some of these Bitcoin and Ethereum plays in here. I'd like to see Ethereum. I mean, just a rocket of a week last week. I'd like to see a pullback to get long again. I think adding to it here is bananas. But I think if you can get any kind of a pullback in Ethereum, I'd be looking to get long potentially there. If there's any other trades, I'll look up some charts for you. If not, Baba, running out of steam here, breaking the 21 today. Momentum is all down. Nothing here on Baba. Palantir, everybody loves to talk about Palantir. There's definite support in here, but you are below the 21. You're below the 50. MACD is trying to reverse. Squeeze is trying to reverse on it. So yes, you're in a bearish trend for sure. Right, so definitely in a bearish trend on it, but it's not a bad spot to potentially put on a put credit spread. If we could break the 21, I think that would give us a good opportunity to move to the upside. All right, and then last one, we'll do one more. And app. So I don't know anything about Appleoven or whatever this product. I have no idea what this is. Chart's bullish, bouncing off to 21. It looks pretty nice in here. You are very overextended. You are very overbought on the weekly. So you're playing with an overbought stock, but it's not overbought on the daily. Momentum's coming out of the squeeze, but it's kind of sideways, bouncing off the 21-day, moving higher. So overall, not too bad here on app. All right, those would be my my picks. I think we really only found coin to be halfway decent. We didn't run through every possibility of things that are out there. This one here is also not, this clean spark, not bad looking either. I like the way this is moving. I think you've got a breakout potentially going here. MACD moving higher, RSI is moving higher, squeeze moving higher, might be in a squeeze. I think this is also a good trade opportunity. So clean spark, I think, is a good trade opportunity. There you go. Found at least two potential good trade setups for you. I also like Boeing in here after that big drop last week, which was kind of weird and crazy. Boeing's not bad. It's not a great setup here. MA is not a great setup. Goldman Sachs, a bit overbought here. I want to see a pullback. JP Morgan, though, not terrible. This is not a bad setup in JP Morgan. Schwab getting murdered. SoFi always sucks. I don't even know why I even look at that thing, but Square, not looking too good. PayPal doesn't look good. McDonald's looks absolutely terrible. I've been to a couple of McDonald's over this last road trip and doesn't look great either. So, all right, there we go. There's our trades, and I hope this was helpful to you guys. We'll do it again maybe later on this week. All right, hope this was helpful. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. See you guys.